Your team is not unhappy because of the workload, and it is not the salary. It is not the office. Those things play a role, but they are not the source. The source is something most leaders never look at. It is the daily experience of feeling invisible, feeling like what you do does not matter, feeling disconnected from the people around you, and from any real sense of why you are even there. In this episode, I will show you the 5 habits that shift that perspective, all of them backed by science. Let me make this extremely clear from the start. Happiness is not a reward. It is not something your team gets to feel when the quarter goes well or the pressure finally lifts. That is not happiness. That is relief. And relief is temporary. Real happiness. The kind that sustains performance, that keeps people engaged, that makes someone actually want to show up. That is a state. It is biological. It is built. And it is built through what you do every single day, not through what happens to you. The first habit is movement. And before you think this is about fitness, it is not. It is about the brain. When the body moves, the brain releases dopamine, serotonin, endorphins. Not as a bonus, as a biological response. That combination regulates mood, sharpens focus, and builds emotional resilience in a way that no supplement, no strategy session, and no team-building exercise ever could. A 5-minute walk, a standing meeting, a stretch at midday. These are not small things dressed up as wellness perks. They are direct interventions in how a person feels. The second habit is breath. Under sustained pressure, which is the default state in most corporate environments, the breath gets shallow, short, chest level. And that pattern alone keeps the nervous system in a state of low-grade alert that people stop noticing because it becomes normal. But normal is not optimal. When you teach a team to breathe, fully, deliberately, from the belly, the body shifts. The mind clears. Decisions improve. Conversations become less reactive. One breath before a difficult message. One breath before walking into a room. That pause is not weakness. That pause is intelligence. The third habit is the one I care about most deeply. It is the habit of watching what you say to yourself. You talk to yourself more than anyone else in your life ever will. The phrases we repeat become beliefs. The beliefs become identity. And identity determines the ceiling we place on our own happiness, quietly, invisibly, every single day. The shift is not about forced positivity. It is about pausing long enough to ask, is that actually true? Or is that just familiar? And that question alone, asked honestly, is where real freedom starts. The fourth habit is gratitude. And I am not talking about a gratitude journal that gets abandoned by Thursday. I am talking about a genuine daily redirection of attention toward what is working, what is present, what is real. The neuroscience on this is consistent and clear. Gratitude activates the brain's reward circuitry, reduces cortisol, increases oxytocin, which is the chemistry of trust and connection. Over time, it rewires the brain's default setting from scanning for problems to recognizing possibility. In a team, that shift is visible, a culture where people acknowledge each other, where progress gets noticed, where the small wins matter as much as the big ones. That is a culture where people feel valued. And people who feel valued perform differently, not because they are told to, because The fifth habit is connection, real connection. Not the kind that happens in a scheduled one-on-one or a performance review, the kind that happens in the 2 minutes before a meeting starts. In the question asked with genuine curiosity, in the moment where someone puts their phone down and actually listens. Loneliness is one of the biggest drivers of disengagement in the modern workplace, and it exists in organizations full of people. Because proximity is not connection. You can sit in a room of 50 people and feel completely alone if nobody in that room ever truly sees you. When people feel connected to their work, to each other, to something bigger than the next deadline, happiness is not something you have to manufacture. It is already there. You just created the conditions for it to surface. Your team's happiness is not waiting for better circumstances. It is not waiting for the right quarter or the right leadership or the right moment. It is available right now through movement, through breath, through the quality of the conversation inside their own heads, through gratitude, and through genuine human connection. 5 habits. That is it. Not a program, not a policy, a practice, daily, deliberate. And when those 5 things become the culture, not the exception, but the expectation, the performance that follows is not something you have to chase. It becomes something your team naturally delivers. The most powerful organizations are not the ones with the best strategy. They are the ones where people feel most alive. Build that. This is Michael Abdullah.